today is a big day for old school music lovers everywhere because it is National 8-Track Day. It's National 8-Track Day. Look at that, 8 tracks. And look, this is a day to remember listening to great music of the 60s and the 70s on 8-track tapes. Now, y'all got to do something. Clap if you know what an 8-track is. Okay. I know there are some young people going, I have no idea what you're talking about. Now, I got to tell you about 8-tracks. Some of my younger staff thought an 8-track was some type of treadmill. That's what they thought. Or they thought 8-track was the name of a rapper, okay? But I had to explain to them that this is how we used to listen to music back in the day. And then, you know, sometime after vinyl records came out, but before the cassettes, we had 8-tracks, okay? I even handed it to one of my staffers. She thought it was a Nintendo cartridge. That's what she thought it was, all right? And when I tell y'all, I'm so excited. I got some peaches and herb right here. Peaches and herb. You remember that? Reunited, and I said peaches and herb, and they were like, no, auntie, it's herb. I said, no, that's a seasoning. It's peaches and herb. Then I got Nat King Cole. Oh my gosh, got Nat King Cole. Oh my goodness, we got the Osmonds over here, and then one of the staffers went the almonds. No, the Osmonds. I got Lou Rawls, You'll Never Find. I got Willie Nelson. And let me tell you something. One of my production assistants saw the Willie Nelson 8-track and said, oh yeah, Beyonce discovered him on her Cowboy Carter album. When I tell you these kids today don't know nothing about this 8-track music, okay? Because when these guys came out in the 60s, my daddy ran out and bought our favorite albums. And he also, and I'll never forget, it was back, he had a Coupe de Ville. It was a Cadillac Coupe de Ville, and he was the only one on the block that had a Coupe de Ville. They had a Sedan de Ville and a Coupe de Ville. He had all 8 tracks, and he had a little case that he would carry the 8 tracks in, and he would take them from the car to the house because he didn't want anybody to break in and get his 8 tracks. And when I tell you, he had so many doggone 8 tracks. He had the Ohio Players. He had the Bee Gees. Oh my gosh. When you want that 99 it's tragedy. He had that. He had, on our 8 track, he had Chic. He said, Chic, lay freak out. He had that, and I mean, oh my gosh. 8 tracks literally were the soundtrack on all of the long road trips that we took, because we couldn't afford to fly. So we took the road trips, and he would put the 8 tracks in there, and they kept us going while we drove all those hours. I'm like looking at the 8 tracks, I can't even believe it. And then when we were little, we knew we were not supposed to be touching the 8 tracks. You remember? But when you little, you see that little ribbon, and you like, you know, you want to pull a ribbon out, but you knew not to touch that ribbon. I touched the ribbon one time, and thank God I'm still here to tell the tale. Because you didn't touch that ribbon. But it was always so inviting. You knew about, you know, like you look at it, and then when you were a kid, you like, I wonder what happened. Even now when I'm looking at it, I'm like, my daddy ain't here, and I'm grown. Look, that's, because when you pull a ribbon out, it would get to, you know what, Daddy, I'm sorry. I'm just, but it brings back so many memories, like 8 tracks. So I just want to say, happy 8-track day, everybody.
There's nothing like nostalgia. My late Uncle Charles in the small town of Warrington, Virginia was like the neighborhood DJ, and he had his 8 tracks. They used to call him Rock Steady. And I remember his 8 track with Lenny Williams, the yeah. That guy, yes.
Oh my gosh. Now I remember why I got a whooping, because
you can't figure out how to put it back in.
Because a cassette tape, you could pull it out, but you can roll it with your finger. Now I remember why I got a whooping, because when I was 8, I was trying to figure out how to put it back in, and I couldn't. So I put it in the 8-track thing, and it wiped out the thing. Yeah, you can't fix the 8 once you pull it out.
We're gonna have a good